When superheroes began gaining popularity again after the revamping of The Flash and later Green Lantern at DC, Marvel publisher Martin Goodman gave Stan Lee permission to develop a super team similar to DC's recently introduced Justice League of America, which had debuted in Brave and the Bold number 28, making the title one of the highest sellers of its time. In 1961, Lee, along with legendary artist Jack Kirby, created a team of superheroes unlike any other, called the Fantastic Four. The four heroes, Mr. Fantastic, the Invisible Woman, the Human Torch, and the Thing, were portrayed as very human characters, almost in the fashion of a soap opera. The Fantastic Four was a family that didn't get along well. Their powers, particularly in the case of the monstrous Thing, were a burden rather than a boon. They weren't godlike or perfect. They had specific character flaws, and they held no secret identities. Their real names and faces were known to the public. It was a start of something huge. The success of the Fantastic Four was followed with the introduction of the Incredible Hulk, another very human character cursed with superhuman abilities. The Hulk clearly drew on the influence of the classic tales of Frankenstein and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. His duality was tragic, a brilliant, gentle scientist who contained within himself the potential to become a brutish, destructive monster with little more understanding than a young child. The most important and creatively inventive character to be introduced by Marvel came in August 1962's Amazing Fantasy number 15, the last of the series. That character? Spider-Man. Spider-Man broke every rule that existed for superheroes, and that was the key to his success. He was a teenager who had very normal teenage problems. He juggled battles against colorful villains with homework and girl problems. He was doted on by his aging aunt and constantly had money troubles. Most of all, he was forced to grow up too soon by an overwhelming responsibility stemming from guilt over the death of his uncle, which he could have prevented. Marvel quickly became known for their more accessible heroes. The notion that they were easier to relate to than their flawless DC counterparts made them very popular among readers, and a college-aged readership formed. Humanity became the defining characteristic of early Marvel heroes. Daredevil suffered from and overcame the handicap of blindness. Iron Man's alter ego, Tony Stark, had a bad heart. The X-Men were outcast by society and faced constant prejudice. They served as a double metaphor for both disenfranchised youth and minorities. The Silver Surfer, although an alien, was very much human in his philosophizing and compassion. He was sometimes referred to as Jesus in space. With the advent of the Marvel era, superheroes suddenly faced many of the same real-world obstacles as their readers. Marvel proved that superheroes could appeal to a broad audience and injected the genre with a sense of reality that other publishers sought to emulate. Marvel Comics set the standard for more realistic superheroes, but they also connected with readers on another level. The stories never talked down to readers, and Stan Lee conversed with his readers in both the bulletins, in monthly books, and the letters pages. This correspondence became one of the hallmarks of the Marvel world, with readers always made to feel as though they were equals with the people behind the scenes. On all levels, Marvel's success can be attributed to keeping everything on a very human, personal level. Their contribution to the development of the comic book as a relevant art form cannot be emphasized enough.